ladies and gentlemen, to this space. My name is Edith Wanyoni. This is the space where we discuss matters concerning mental health. And today we are going to start a new edition, and that is the state of mental health in Africa. So I will be having a new guest from Gambia. But before we start, I'd like you to know that mental health is an influence to all our health. So you realize that mental health affects all the aspects of our lives, and so it's very important to take care of our mental health. And in Africa, mental health has actually been on the rise, and it's important that we speak about these matters because this is a pandemic on its own. So in my edition today, I have a guest from Gambia. His name is Solomon Correa. He is a 29-year-old youth, an entrepreneur, addiction professional, an activist, advocate, youth leader, a martial artist, and a humanitarian. He's currently nominated at the African Judo Union for a position director, coaching, and education. He is also an assistant lead head for training and outreach at the African Mental Health Consortium. He's passionate in serving and building people, putting smiles on the face of the hopeless, and creating meaningful development because it gives him purpose. That's a very great profile there for Solomon. Welcome, Solomon.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. And then it is quite a pleasure to share.
Yeah, so how do we say welcome in
Gambia? All right. I know it as welcome anyway. There are many languages in the Gambia.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the sense that the welcome is just, I know it as welcome anyway.
Okay. A national language that you speak there?
Yeah, here there's Wolof, Mandinka. Normally, all these languages are speakable, and then I can speak them though. Yeah.
Okay. Because here in Kenya we say karibu sana.
Okay.
All right. So karibu edition.
All right. Okay, that's nice. Thank you so much. But I think that one omit my head.
Say yeah? Asante sana.
You said?
I say asante sana.
Okay, asante sana. Thank you. Asante sana. Thank you.
Okay, so the first question, why have you dedicated your life to helping people with their mental health?
Okay, thank you so much. I think this question is very important because most of the time I get asked by this question, why are you doing this? Why are you dedicating all your life? And then I have a word that I always say is that I want to do this for the rest of my life. Yeah. So in the sense that it takes a lot to be committed. So why am I dedicated to do this? I would say that I don't know why, but I could give some reasons that it might be natural. Yeah, because it's a feeling that I always have since when I was young. When I see people in need, people with distresses and people in crisis, I tend to feel it so much. And then I ask a lot of questions about it. So in the sense that this is something I always conceptualize as a child, and I grew up as a youth. Now I get the drive to do it from the place once I work. So in the sense, most of the time when I went to work, I get to meet a mentally ill persons coming in the office. And then when you're speaking to them, sometimes they don't understand. And then you guide them out. There's a day that I took this commitment to tend to speak with a client, with a mentally sick person. And then I realized that the person was communicating well. And then I also realized that the way he's expressing he's sick due to the, you will see that the dress code is quite very abnormal, and also the way they are reacting to conversation also. But at least there are some words also which are communicable. Those I pick up, and then I was a bit emotional about it, and then I start thinking about it. What is the government doing on mental health? What is going on? That's when I start doing some research, collecting data, meeting different people, different institutions to really know what is going on. Then later, I finally took the decision by saying that, you know what, I want to start up a mental health foundation by supporting people with mental illnesses. And then after doing that, I realized that I discover myself, because I can tell by those days I'm always in the office working. I feel so depressed. I feel like it was not me. So I guess this is what I am to do. This is what makes me happy.
And because you've mentioned that you started a foundation, what kind of strategies have you put in place to help people with mental health problems?
Okay. Well, yeah, we have different strategies that we do put in place. And then based on our strategies, we linked it with certain reasonings, and then uh, weaknesses which we are having. Because of that, we do realize that in the Gambia, we do have a lot of youths having mental health problem, and most of them are suffering with SUD issue. And then we also tend to realize that the stigma is very high. People don't understand actually the main, but the main strategy we do come up, we target different groups. And then some of these groups of targets are like we have young people. And then targeting the young people, we come up with an invention called School Mental Health Awareness Program. And then with this School Mental Health Awareness Program is where we target young ones and educate them about the basic understanding of their mental health and mental illnesses and basic symptoms, and then how can you get help, where to get help, what can you do if you're facing, and how can you help a friend, those kind of things. And then it's working quite very well, because of many students are responding to this program. And then we also tend to realize a lot during our interventions with school, what we pick up from the student and all those things. So it helps us to further guide this school mental health. We have another targeting area, which is the community. And the community, we have it as a program, Community Mental Health Awareness Program. And this is where we meet with uh, community leaders, we meet with religious leaders, and then come up, invite also influence person in the community, sit together, and then have a discussion surrounding mental health, where they will share some reasons of why their perceptions, and this give us um, an opportunity to understand the community better and why certain stigma and the way forward to address the stigma, same as also we orient them in the evidence-based practices of mental health care support programs, and how best also they can help their loved ones as a way forward. So this is also another strategy that we put in place. And then we have another program that we call drama. Also, we have that intervention is where we bring actors and actors together, and then they act to sensitize on mental health, because we find out that engagement with many people, most of the time after a few discussions, they forget. So at the end of the day is when we have some visual message sent out through acting, and then so these are very powerful information that can stay a little bit while to retain in their minds. And then yeah, we do have that program coming. We also have an intervention called home care support program. Is for people that are already clients, people that are victims of the circumstance. I would say is that client from psychiatric hospital that or never get access to healthcare services and things like that. So the home care support program, it is where volunteers are connected with people that needed psychiatric help, or people that need some professional support, where we act as case managers to them, and then provide them different support that they may need depending upon their recovery. So this intervention also is quite working very positive, because of most of the client that we engage with, we have very positive feedback. And one thing which make us very proud of the home care support intervention, because of it discourages, it reduces relapse cases, because we tend to understand that most of the clients that are discharged from the psychiatric hospital in the Gambia, and you realize that after a month, 2 months, they are back again in the system. So, but more, with the client that we attach with our volunteers, it helps us to monitor and understand what are the what are actually the factors, what makes them, tend to relapse, and then probably the stressors surrounding the environment. Also, it might be also the drugs that they are using and things like that. So because of our volunteers, we'll reach them at home, educate the family members, how they can relate with them, how also they can also continue with. So then they start wondering, okay, probably, but our volunteers are making sure that they empower the family members to take over the support, because that is more sustainable than having the volunteers. But the volunteers are just there to make sure that to connect back that supporting effort from the family, so that the client can acquire.
Okay, that's really great. And I hear you mentioning stigma and other challenges. So, how are you able to deal with these challenges like stigma? What do you think, or why do you think people stigmatize those who are suffering from mental health problems?
Okay, thank you. I think when it comes to the issue of stigma, I will say that there might be many factors why people actually stigmatize one person or the other due to their mental ill condition. But I will also say that it have something that really goes with belief. It can goes with belief, it can goes with culture, it can also go with, let me say, unawareness. So in the sense that most of the time, people will tend to stigmatize others. It's just of the perception they have upon other people on how they can be, and then how they came to be ill. So I noticed that in different ways under how people actually, I can imagine once visiting one of my clients, I meet I would say a 9 years old young girl that is actually a young person. And then I asked that girl, have you seen my client? And then she told me that, well, that guy is just crazy. I cannot imagine, because if such an information is coming from a small 9-year-old girl, and then my question there was, where does she pick it from? Where does this language come from? And then I asked her again, how do you think that this person gets sick? As she looked at me, she told me it's a cost. Then it will start to be more interesting to me to understand what this girl is saying. Is a cost. I said how, she said witchcraft and other things. So I think this little girl must have heard this information from the parents, the maybe the friends or the family. So in the sense that it is actually how we perceive or how we think about certain things, and then that's why we tend to stigmatize more people, and while it is not even necessary.
Very important to take the word out there and enlighten people so that they can stop stigmatizing other people. So it's very important and it's very great what you're also doing. Yeah, so we let people know that mental health is just an illness like physical health. So people don't need to be stigmatized or afraid of seeking help. That's true, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And now because we are facing the pandemic, that is global. People are afraid right now, and people are having so many mental health issues. What would you say is the state of mental health in Gambia?
Okay. Uh, Thank you so much for this question. But from my point of view, I haven't gone any factual statistic findings. To my own assessment and analysis, I would say that it is quite on an increase because of, I will consider different factors why I would say that it is on an increase. It's that our way of life have changed so much that based on this pandemic is new, and then people don't understand it. Before, there is a lot of anxiety that we get scared, and then people don't even know what to do. And then there were many confused minds and many propaganda also with the media on different kind of conspiracy theory talking about this illness. So it's kind of a confusions which arose. And then most of these factors are like, you know, um, things are changing, and then many people are now getting confused because of that. They are losing jobs, and others also don't have engagement anymore. So things are getting harder. You have price inflation at the other side. So the things that they majority were actually acquiring, they are not getting it anymore. So these things tend to bring a more problem of mental health issues within the country. The World Health Organization forecasting that in 2030, believing that depression will be the leading NCDs. So in the sense that it is in an increase, and then related to the current condition in the Gambia, it is also on an increase because we have more crime rates and more other problems, social problems, which are always related to mental health issues.
So, what do you think the government needs to put in place to help people with mental health conditions?
Yeah, thank you so much. There are many things that I believe that the government could put into consideration. More investment on mental health care support program, and then let them promote all the parties that are involved in mental health educations, awareness. Let them reinforce them, give them the right tools and resources to operate and to reach out to every region, to every place that this support might be needed. And also the other thing that is quite very important, like for Gambia, I will say that it is very good that the government tend to invest in a rehabilitation center, because of we as a country, we don't have any rehabilitation center. And then we do have a psychiatric hospital, but there's no rehab. And there are many people that are sent into this psychiatric hospital while the treatment that they might need is from an addiction professional, some basic counseling. So these are some of the hard challenges which government really have to uh, look into. And I do believe that not only government, even our parliamentarian and other people, because there are also a lot of policies also which are guiding, and then this enforcement also to these laws to support person with mentally ill condition. For instance, here we have a lot of chaining of a person with mental illness. They are chained, and then you see that these practices are available. I think the government should be more serious with mental health issue, because there is no health without mental health, and they should see the importance that if we have a healthy mind and a healthy people, there will be more development, more productions, and more achievement of all the goals that they are looking for, because everybody will be more positive minded and working toward development.
Like the World Health Organization prove that there's a treatment gap, meaning that there's so many people with mental health concern, but they are either misdiagnosed or they do not get the right treatment. So this is really sad. And my question would be, what will you tell those people who are afraid or they feel stigmatized to seek help? What advice would you give them?
I think it's quite also very good to inform them that, they are not alone. And then this is like any other kind of disease. And then it is not a disease that you know that it should be like a badge upon them. They are not mental. You cannot call them mental illness because they are not that. They have a disease just like any other disease, like diabetes. You have hypertension. So this is the way they should tend to see the illness and be more open up to speak up, because of if they are more open up to speak to their doctors about their illness, that's the best way they will able to get help, because it will help them to understand exactly what is going on with them. Yeah, and again, it is always good that let them have faith, because of with faith.
Are your last words for this edition?
Well, my last word will be thank you so much for this opportunity again. And then all the viewers out there, just keep doing all the positive things that you're doing from different level. It doesn't matter. Let it be only productive. At the end of the day, we are all contributing to make the world a better place.
Oh, thank you very much, Solomon, for coming. It has been a pleasure being with you on this space, and I've learned quite a lot, and I know people have learned a lot too. It has been very enlightening, and I want to congratulate you for the efforts that you're putting in your country to make sure that people are having good mental health, because you know it's important. So viewers, I want to wish you well, and also I want to always remind you, or always keep in mind, that there is no health without mental health. So it's important that you check on your mental health regularly. So thank you very much for joining us, and until next time, bye bye.